so doing my healthy recipe video. I'm doing this with the perspective of having gastroparesis and also IBS. So I'm going to share this with my GP community. This is a healthy, simple lunch for me. So for those of you with chronic illness, you already know the spoon theory. For those of you without chronic illness, the spoon theory is this concept that healthy people tend to wake up with unlimited energy, so doing simple day-to-day things like prepping your meals doesn't burn you out. Whereas people with chronic illness, we tend to wake up with a very limited amount of energy. So we wake up with some days 10 spoons, some days 5 spoons, some days no spoons. It's spoons because the woman who came up with the theory was eating dinner when she was trying to explain to her friend the idea that she wakes up with very limited energy because she has lupus. And so her friend may not have to think about energy at all. And she looked at the table and she was trying to find an analogy and she happened to have a spoon. So she used spoons. So today I'm low on spoons and I'm working. So I want to make sure that I spend the most amount of my energy and focus on doing well at my job, which means that for lunch, I need to think about my meal in terms of the least amount of prep. Now I'm using a regular bowl and spoon because my husband does the dishes, but if you don't have the energy to do dishes, a paper bowl and a plastic spoon will work fine, so you can just throw it away when you're done. I also know that we have to think about fiber. So when you have gastroparesis, you should only have about 2 to 3 grams of fiber per meal. And you really need to think about the type of fiber, so it should already be broken down for you if possible. Or you need to make sure that you're straining the fiber. If you are having like fresh fruits or vegetables, make sure that when you blend the fruit or boil the fruit, you also strain it to help reduce the amount of fiber. I myself, this morning, I had an IBS attack. So that is a lot of inflammation, a lot of pain. And my stomach and my gastrointestinal area are very inflamed this morning. So I also need to think not only about fiber, but also how many calories can I get in a meal so that way I can reduce the amount that I'm eating so my stomach has more time to digest the food without overfilling myself. So what I normally do on a day like this is I try to think about how I can balance my vitamins. If I can't get enough vitamins for my daily intake because I'm not having fresh fruits or vegetables, I have adult liquid. I do liquid vitamins because it gets into your digestive system faster. So if you talk to your doctor before you take a vitamin supplement though, but if you are struggling with issues like malabsorption or your body just isn't digesting at all, so you have really high GP, which means your stomach isn't draining very much at all, this one is fantastic. It has almost all the vitamins you need. It upsets my stomach though, so I will say be careful with that. I'm not having that though today because I want to try to have some vegetables. I don't have the energy to cut, cook, boil vegetables right now, so I'm snagging my baby food. I highly recommend baby food. It's already easy for you to digest. Simple packet. You just have to pop it open and this part of your lunch is ready. Drink a full pack if you can fit it into your stomach. That is about 60 calories and a good chunk of vegetables. This one for me is my 3 grams of fiber though. So, but it is already pre-broken down. So I can have a little bit more fiber in my meal if I need to. So there are my veggies and fruit. This is pear, kale, and spinach. Then I'm also thinking, okay, I need more calories and protein, so I just get a can of chicken. Easy prep. You just pop the lid, drain the water. I throw the whole can into a bowl. In order to get more calories and a little bit of fat, normally mayo is just not healthy for you, but I like it because it's got a lot of fat in it and calories, and I struggle with my fat. So I am doing 1 spoon. So you can prep this entire meal with a spoon. You have your pre-diced chicken in your can. You take 1 tablespoon of mayo and you put that into your chicken. And then I normally like pickles a ton just for the flavor and crunch, but I can't do the skin because my stomach just struggles with digesting it. So I normally skin the pickle, chop up the inside, and throw that into my chicken, but I don't have the energy for that today. So when I don't have the energy to deal with cutting and prepping food, I normally just, again, take a spoon. I take a spoonful of pickle juice. This is good for those of us that struggle with hydration. It's also, I think it helps with inflammation when you're having vinegar, but you don't want to have too much because then it's acidic. So then I throw that in there for flavor. And then all I do is I mash the chicken, mayo, and pickle juice together. If you want, you can add a little bit of salt or seasoning. If you can handle seasonings, I usually eat a lot of bland foods when I have an IBS attack, because as you know, when you're inflamed, really everything just irritates you. So then I mix up my mayo and pickle juice. Beautiful. It should look like that. And then you can either do white bread and make a sandwich, because white bread is very easy on your stomach to digest. I personally, though, if I'm in a GP flare and an IBS flare, I need something softer. I just have saltine crackers. 5 is 60 calories. I try to eat 10 crackers, which I also find is about a full can of chicken. So 10 crackers and a can of chicken and a baby food is what I try to fit into my stomach. After this, I'll be pretty full, so I won't be able to snack again until, I don't know, probably 4 or 5 hours from now. But I try to load up on my lunch, so that way I have time to digest by bedtime, and then I will probably lightly snack throughout the day. But that is my easy GP, low prep, low energy, high calorie lunch for when you're in a gastroparesis and IBS flare. So hope this is helpful for you guys.